Warren Ingram from Galileo Capital. Great to have you with us once again.
Thanks. It's great to be on the show.
Now, talking about lottos and money, they say money can't buy you happiness. Is that true?
It's not really true at all, and it's interesting to study people who win the lotto, and the Americans are great at this. They study every aspect of money, and because it's such a huge market, you really can build up a proper base of data. And in South Africa, we're starting to get there. But if you look at it, only 55% of lotto winners actually would tell you that they feel happier in the months and years after they've won the lotto. So can money buy you happiness? Not really. I mean, 55% is pretty much a flip of a coin. It's close. It's one in two chance, and that's heads and tails. So that's not a certainty. If money could buy you happiness, then it would be something like 75 or 80 or 90% of lotto winners feel happier after winning, and they don't.
But you have that pressure, though. That pressure, it's the end of the month, you get your salary and you go, yes, I've got my salary. And then by the 26th of the month, because you were paid on the 25th, by the 26th of the month, it's all gone. There's that horrible pressure there. At least that pressure's gone.
If you win the lotto.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's the psychology of the lotto is really interesting, because to me, it says a couple of things. One, it's telling you if you play the lotto seriously. I mean, if it's something that, that's not just a joke that you kind of just do, as a kind of fun, you could buy a sweet, or you could get yourself a lotto ticket. If you're doing this and you really get that sort of sense of depression when the lotto numbers are announced and it's not yours, it tells us a lot about you, and maybe questions that you need to ask yourself as a person, because what it's telling you is that you're actually relying on this to change your life. And just to explain how unlikely it is that you're going to win the lotto, you're probably more likely to be bitten by a shark or get struck by lightning than you are to win the lotto. So people who play the lotto and invest time and emotion and money into this are basically saying they have no other way out in their mind. They've given themselves no other option than this. I mean, extremely lucky chance. And to me, that's quite a sad thing. And I think in a funny way, or not funny way, in a sad way, they've given up. They've given up on themselves. They've given up on their lives, because, I mean, surely if you look at that, look at yourself, and if you're one of those people and say, well, hang on, a lot of this is going to be about bad luck. Maybe we've all been struck by bad luck in life, but how is it that some people rise and some people don't?
Yeah.
And the reason is because the people that rise say to themselves, okay, I acknowledge this. I acknowledge that I got knocked down, but I need to get up, and I'm not going to rely on luck to pick me up. I'm going to do it myself, and I'm going to take myself, and I'm going to make myself better than where I am today. And or they're so desperately unhappy with their lives that they just look at this thing to change their lives. They take a very tiny, small little chance to change their lives. Why not change your life? Why not just take action to do something to improve it or change it? If you're that unhappy that this lotto becomes the source of your only real source of hope, and there are lots of people in that position, to me, it's desperately sad.
So what happens to people when they suddenly get a lot of money, like a lotto win? I mean, very often, if I gave Warren Ingram 20 million rands, Ferraris, houses, I mean, what normally happens?
Yeah, it's so interesting. I mean, I think the first thing to understand is that 70% of lotto winners are at the same position they were before they won, within about 5 years.
5 years.
70%. And they are twice as likely to go bankrupt as the normal population. So those are already really depressing stats. So there's a lot to do with psychology here, because what happens is you get this massive unexpected winnings, and it could be a massive inheritance as well. The effects are the same. And what we see is that when we ask lotto winners what do you do with the money? What do you want to do with the money? About 80% of them give some of their money away to family, which makes sense to me, but
sure,
interestingly to their siblings, not necessarily to other people. And I saw a really interesting story this week, actually. That's why I thought we should talk about it. But an 86-year-old man who won the lotto quite some time ago, and he is in a much worse position now after winning. And he won $6 million. The story was sad. I mean, his one son defrauded the family of the money, and that son's in jail. Another son's been shot, and the father who won the lotto suspects that the son who defrauded the family was the one that killed the other son.
Oh, no.
And so he would say it's the worst thing that happened to him was winning that lotto. And so I think, just be careful what you wish for, because winning the lotto, I mean, for some, could be incredibly destructive. There are not many really happy cases of great winners that have a good life afterwards.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But I suppose just hearing what you're saying as well, people very often do only give to siblings because they're thinking of natural progression. Maybe mom and dad are in their 80s or their 90s, and siblings, they'll be around a little bit longer.
100%. And I think also, if those are the people you've grown up with, and they're also in a difficult position, then at least from their point of view, you can help them out a bit. You can do something for them to make a change.
Tell you what, any lotto winners out there, I'd like to hear from you. 011 883 0702 021 446 0567. Chatting to Warren Ingram from Galileo Capital, talking about winning the lotto and what happens to people. Why do they land up, like you said, Warren, 5 years later, and it was the worst thing that ever happened to them?